Realize something weird is going on. We got dead humpbacks at the shore, trains flying off the tracks in Ohio, dead frogs, acid rain, spy balloons. Canada is shooting missiles. Canada.
The plane is getting lower and lower and lower. It nipped the house. When it nipped the house, it hit a couple cars. Boom! And to the plaza, and to the Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere. I never seen nothing like that a day in my life.
Yo, welcome back. I got some new videos for y'all, man. Some crazy stuff I done seen on the internet since I've been gone. But I'm back, and let's do this. Let's jump right into them videos.
I know nothing. Teach me. How many of us are, ignorant to the fact that we want to learn from somebody, but we don't know how to ask because we just think we know it all, or we have that ego about us. And that's where I feel like that darkness lies in the ego, telling us that we know too much. We never know enough. Never know enough. Information is free, but it depends on who you're getting from, but knowledge sticks with you forever and it turns into wisdom as you get older. So these are things that my dad used to tell me when I was younger. I didn't really listen, but now that I'm older, it makes a lot more sense.
Kyrie over there spitting facts, man. Let's all be humble, learn from each other, and just do what we gotta do.
What is going on this year with aviation? 2025 has barely started, and we're already seeing a shocking number of aviation incidents. On January 29th, an American Airlines regional jet collided midair with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Washington, D.C. No survivors among the 67 people on board. Just 2 days later, a medevac jet carrying a 6-year-old girl crashed after takeoff in Philadelphia. Sadly, everyone that was on board passed away, including people on the ground. But it doesn't stop there. There have been multiple reports of planes filling with smoke, emergency landings, and even ground accidents, like a de-icing truck hitting a commercial jet in Cleveland. Is this all just coincidence? Some believe aging equipment and pilot shortages are pushing the system to its breaking point. Others think there's more to it. Unreported mechanical failures, cybersecurity threats, or even hidden experiments with new tech. Whatever it is, something is wrong. These aren't isolated incidents anymore. What do you think is happening in the skies this year?
How does this helicopter not see the airplane? I mean, this is a very bright flashing light and the skies look clear. I don't know, but we need answers because this does not look right.
Breaking footage of the Philadelphia plane crash that a lot of people are saying looked like a missile. First and foremost, prayers to anyone's family who was affected by this tragedy.
You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to realize that something is very wrong with all these aviation and plane failures we've had recently. Some of you may already know this, but the odds of the average American getting involved in a plane accident is about 1 in 11 million. So when 4 planes crash in under a week, it will no doubt raise some suspicions. And just in case you don't know what I'm referring to, on January 28th, a fighter jet crashed at Elson Air Force Base in Alaska. On January 29th, a plane crashed in Santa Barbara, California. On January 30th, a Black Hawk helicopter ran into a landing commercial plane in Washington, D.C. And on January 31st, a plane crashed in Northeast Philadelphia. On top of these accidents, Frontier Airlines grounded all their flights worldwide due to a technical outage. Now, I don't want to jump to conclusions, and let me know in the comments if you think this may be a reach, but could it be possible that some of these incidents could have been due to cyber attacks? I mean, Black Hawk helicopters were created to do things like dodge missiles and have night vision, and it still collided with a plane on a predictable route. It's also worth mentioning that these can be controlled completely remotely. Regardless, my condolences goes out to the families that were affected by these situations.
There has been a lot of strange things happening. You guys be safe, protect yourself. It's a crazy world.
What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
People saw this strange thing flying around the fires in California. This video went pretty viral. Some people are saying it looks like a rocket. Some people saying it looks like a drone or a UFO.
The fires in LA are very reminiscent of Maui when you actually do a little digging and do a little research. You will see things for what they really are. Case in point, the color blue survived the fires in LA, just like they did Maui. So you tell me what is going on, because all of this seems a little spooky to me. and the fact that by 2028, they want to transform LA into a smart city just in time for the 2028 Olympics. Things really don't add up with this at all, and it really seems like another situation just like Maui. You tell me what is going on, because none of this seems right to me. And again, this seems like another Maui situation.
Check this out. This was part of the car. Turned into liquid. Then it just hardened once it cooled. Jesus.
This is one of the homes that survived the Pasadena wildfire, and the owner of this home also has one in the back. One of them burnt and one of them didn't. Check this shit out.
I talked to the owner of this house right here in Pasadena. I talked to the owner. The owner does not have a smart meter on this house, on the front part of his house.
Smart meter.
There's no smart meter. The back house is the part of the house that had the smart meter, and everything in the back of his house is burnt. No smart meter. Smart meter.
So I go research this shit, and then I came across this video about a retired engineer refusing to let the state install a smart meter on his home. Check this out.
It's obvious Norbert Slowinski does not want Duquesne Light to install a so-called smart meter on his property. So you've essentially put a chain on your meter.
Yes.
The retired mechanical engineer says smart meters are dangerous.
The smart meter is not
Listen
safe
what he
for the following
say.
reasons. Again, it emits high frequency radio waves, and you don't feel them, you don't know about them, but they penetrate your body and they can cause health problems later on. My bedroom is right next door, and it will emit high frequency waves, so I'm worried about my health and my children's health. They catch fire because there's very high voltage inside.
You heard what he said on that last part. I'm gonna drop a part 2 showing y'all who owns all of those smart meters in those areas that burn.
Did watch a lot of coverage on the Maui fires, and this California fire seems quite similar in my opinion as well.
I found a glitch in the Matrix.
Hey guys, I don't get this.
It's weird and I don't know if I'm imagining this, but like, I think everyone at this airport is blind and I'm really confused.
I've seen some really creepy stuff, but nothing like this. There's a palm floating right in the middle of the air.
Yo, this is actually some insane shit. When I zoom in closer to the sun, it's like a grid appears. Like, hold on. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? I know I'm not tripping.
So we're in a storm right now, and this car literally just drove up this, I don't even know what happened. I think the wind took it, but this is what's happening right now in Suffield on Mountain Road.
Superpowers that they don't want you to know. Your dreams ain't just dreams, they messages. All of them. Nigga, ain't not one dream you having is just a normal dream. No matter how normal it look. All your dreams is messages, it always been. I had an old man. Nigga, it was nothing. I told y'all in a dream, your higher self pulls you to different shit. So if you in a dream and you just doing one thing and then you have a thought about going somewhere, but you've been there before, you can experience it, you can perceive it, you gonna teleport there. It's gonna pull you there. You driving in your dream, just cruising. Nigga, you about to go hoop, and then you turn and you look at a mountain, and then you teleport to that mountain. It pulls you there. Now you on a whole nother situation in your dream. Your higher self be working for you in your dreams, but you just can't connect with your higher self in your dreams because you cutting it off in the real, in the physical.
You know how alcohol travels through your body and what it does. Let's break it down in just 60 seconds. When you take a sip, alcohol starts its journey in your mouth, but the real action happens once it hits your stomach and small intestine. Without food, it zips right into your bloodstream, and then it's off to the races, affecting every organ in its path, especially your brain and liver. Alcohol tricks your brain into feeling good by releasing dopamine, but the catch: the more you drink, the less pleasure you feel, leading you down the path to addiction. And your liver, the detox hero, works overtime to break down alcohol with enzymes. But over time, this can lead to serious damage.
Never really been a big drinker like that, but I know that stuff messes up your body. And if you do it daily, protect your liver.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Ini apa, guys? Ini nggak disum, guys. Ini kita maju ya. Assalamualaikum.
Huh? Is it coming? Yeah, it's coming. Call the police. Take my number down. I'll send it to you.
That would most definitely be strange to come across during the day, but she needs an exorcist, and we need to keep it pushing. Little Buddy looked like one of them dogs off Resident Evil, except a mini version.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of, so a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asks the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, "No, I absolutely cannot tell you." Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, "Oh God, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that." Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, "Oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't." And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the sand sparkle, or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded glitter, the other New Jersey company that isn't GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter of all things ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
Who would have knew there's a conspiracy with glitter? Probably has something to do with all those nanoparticles all over the earth.
Smartest people that have ever lived. Elon Musk. 155 IQ. Stephen Hawking. 180 IQ. Bobby Fischer. 180 IQ. Galileo Galilei. 185 IQ. Albert Einstein. 190 IQ. Isaac Newton. 193 IQ. Nikola Tesla. 200 IQ. Leonardo da Vinci. 220 IQ. Beetlejuice. 669 IQ.
Whoa, those are definitely some smart people. But they left one name off the list, and it's definitely me.
So my son got DoorDash, and he was about to bite into his burger, and luckily he opened it to check his sandwich. And why is there a fucking pile of fucking pubic hair?
Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna get sick. Look at how much of this I ate. Look at how much of this I ate. It's raw. You cannot tell me that's not raw.
That's so gross.
Are you taking a picture of it? Bro, what the hell? I ain't never seen salt and pepper on a fucking bun before. This shit is stressing me out.
Y'all help me out. What is this? Like, what are these?
Hey, it's okay, it's all right. Don't, no, leave it. Relax. Relax, you're good. It's normal.
He definitely got a heart of steel, because I would have been scared as hell. I would have been kicking with 2 feet.
Check this out. There's a theory that Bitcoin was created by the CIA to track and control transactions. Hear me out, right? Yeah. The theory states a Bitcoin was created in order to track every single transaction on the planet by the year 2030, bro. And there's proof. So there's this guy called Jack that found the place where Bitcoin was made, and it will terrify you, bro. So story goes, he worked in a government facility in Nevada. He was always curious as to what was really going on. So he tiptoed through the dimly lit corridors. He could feel an eerie presence lurking in the shadows. Strange sounds echoed through the air, making his skin crawl. The air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding washed over him. Finally, Jack reached the heart of the lab, a room filled with humming computers and flickering screens. But as he approached, the room seemed to come alive. The computers glitched and flickered, casting an eerie glow on the walls. There it was, the code of Bitcoin. He couldn't believe his eyes. Suddenly, a voice boomed through the speakers. Intruder detected. Security breach initiated. Panic seized Jack as alarms blared and red lights flashed. He knew he had to escape, but the lab seemed to conspire against him.
Nobody knows where Bitcoin came from, or where it was created, or who created it, but this could be a possibility.
How the fuck did a vintage movie predict this crash out? Just watch this shit.
My son has had clean checkups every year since the day he was born. How could the doctors not pick it up?
You got an HMO, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's your answer. I mean, HMOs pay their doctors not to test. That's their way of keeping costs down. All right, let's say Mike did need additional testing, and insurance says they won't cover them. The doctor keeps his mouth shut, and come Christmas, the HMO sends the doctor a fat-ass bonus check.
Okay, now you tell me, isn't this doctor saying the same exact thing?
The way things are set up is that a hospital needs to make money.
And the problem there is that if you figure out a way to help patients heal, and that way doesn't include a pill or a surgery, then the hospital and the doctor are in big trouble. Because if you figure out a way to help people heal and you can't charge them for it, well, then you've just worked yourself out of a job.
And it gets deeper because millionaires and billionaires don't go to the same doctors we do. Listen to one of Trump's random billionaire friends explain it.
I will never go to a doctor ever again about my general health. All they want to do is put you on pills. I had the best doctors that you could get from the best hospitals. None of them could stop snoring. None of them could get my blood pressure under control. None of them could get my cholesterol, good and bad, leveled out. It's all good now.
Yep. Once they turn healthcare into a business, it's all about making that money, making them profits. It's hard to believe a doctor when you go in there and he tells you all these things that you got to do. Just how we're living.
It's hard to believe. Drone accidentally discovered. Ancient coffins lie on high cliffs. How did the ancients bring them? Why put them so high? Does anyone know the answer? Thousands of years still undamaged. It's really unimaginable.
Check this out, y'all. What you're looking at over here are the graveyards in Saudi Arabia. If you didn't know, it's been raining heavily in Saudi Arabia. Not just that, but they just got some hail and it did like a little hail sand tsunami. And now this is what the graveyards are looking like. As you can see, there's holes all over the grave site, right? It looks like the bodies are coming up out of the ground. Those are different looking tombstones. I don't know what those are, but y'all see that, y'all? Like, it's so much water. They experience so much water that is literally lifting the body. If this doesn't show you that the world is changing, I don't know what to tell you. And I think what they're doing is they're basically paying respects because, you know, who wants this type of stuff to happen, you know, to their loved ones, to their ancestors? You know what I'm saying? So this is what's going on in Saudi Arabia. Y'all see what's going on. I've been posting a lot about Saudi Arabia. There's a lot going on over there that you guys are not aware of. You know what I'm saying? Because this type of stuff is not supposed to be happening. Well, you know, the change is here. The shift is here. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
You can now sell your soul in Fortnite, and this is raising a lot of controversy. So the character's name is actually Mephisto, and the way that you access him is through the underworld part of the map, and in exchange for health you get gifts. If you sacrifice a small portion of your health, you'll get a gift, and if you sacrifice 99% of your health, you can revive your teammate from the dead. And when you make the exchange, the little animation happens where it looks like a part of you goes to him. People are saying, relax everyone, it's just a game, and others are saying, don't care, not doing it, and there are 13-year-olds on this game. So, what do you think?
It seems like they don't care about the kids no more. Damn shame.
Deadliest computer viruses in the world, part 8. You are an idiot. No, not you, but anyone who fell for this Trojan probably felt like one. Way back in the early days of the internet, 2002, a website was going viral through people telling others not to visit it. On forums and blogs everywhere, comments were saying, do not go to youdon'tknowwhoiam.org. So naturally, everyone did, but you shouldn't, so don't try this at home. That site used to host a JavaScript file called trojan.js.office, which would run as soon as the page loaded. This Trojan is more famously known as You Are an Idiot, and is one of the first viral spamwares ever created. It rose during a time that JavaScript and web pages was new and exciting, and web browsers didn't yet have the security features to protect themselves from malicious code. They never actually found out who the original creator of this virus was, which I guess makes the domain name quite fitting. It affected older operating systems like Windows 2000 much worse, so I went back in time to boot that sucker up and see where the site takes us. Side note, this website's no longer active. You are an idiot. Alright, let's go. Right away, the web browser starts bouncing all around as we start phase 1. Bounce. The browser shows a flash video of 3 smiley faces with the text, You are an idiot, and this music starts to loop forever. Since I can't catch this X to close the window, I'm gonna just right click the tab in the taskbar and close, and fall right into its trap. Phase 2, window span. 6 smaller windows are now bouncing around the screen, each playing the same annoying song. Oh, it's about to get worse, because every window that I try to right-click close just spawns 6 more windows. As you can see, this gets exponentially messy. The more I try to close, the more they duplicate. Bro, this is off the rails right now. Okay, and Alt F4 doesn't work either. It just gives me these dialog boxes. You are an idiot. Nice. I really am, aren't I? Okay, so this has been going on for about 5 minutes now, and this window spam is getting absolutely out of control. It's time to bring out the big guns. Task Manager. Control-Alt-Delete, and... oh, damn. There's like a million of these tasks running right now. All right, let's select all. End task, and end now. Okay, I think that actually worked. Oh wait, no, I can't click anything. So the mouse is moving, but everything is just unclickable. For the average user, this is probably the point they'd hard reset their PC to get back to ground zero. Luckily, everything would be back to normal once they did, like none of this ever happened. The only risks here being losing any unsaved work and potentially corrupting any open applications which would require a reinstall. Other than that, just don't visit sites like these and you'll be good. In terms of deadliest viruses, I mean, we still did have to hard reset the PC, so I'm calling it deadly. And again, this site is no longer active, so don't even think about it.
The good old days. Back then, them viruses used to be tearing us up.
In 2021, a fisherman known as Sauce 90 began having these bizarre and mysterious encounters while on the ocean. And after going viral with several videos, he disappeared from the internet. Now just recently, Sauce 90 began uploading videos once more of these mysterious encounters of what people believe to be evidence of the existence of mermaids.
Absolutely, you've never seen anything like this?
But before I show you these videos, let me explain how it all started.
Us 90, and we just out here, we're chilling.
It all began with him hearing strange vocalizations at night in the middle of the ocean.
Out here. Where are you? This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it. Crazy. That's nuts.
In this particular video, if you pay close attention, we can hear what sounds like some sort of vocalization, as if this creature, whatever it is trying to communicate with him. It is a popular belief that mermaids try to lure people in by singing or enchanting sailors, and I guess this is exactly what was happening with Sauce 90.
Can you hear me? At the docks, though? Hey, yo, you hear that? I know what the that is. That bitch followed me to in. Oh, at the docks, though?
Just a couple of days after, Sauce 90 goes back to his commercial fishing trips, and on one dark night, he finds a mysterious bone on the ship's deck. After posting the picture to Instagram, there were many internet users stating that this is possibly the tale of a mermaid. Now, being someone with a certain level of expertise on marine life, Sauce 90 is unable to identify the bone, so he takes it to an expert.
It was the day I got a call back from the whaling museum, and they had an expert there who was willing to talk to me about the bone that I had found.
Don't know what it is.
Yeah, everybody's saying they never seen nothing like it. Usually the bones that come up are like vertebrae and stuff, but nobody's seen anything like this.
Now, just recently, he posted another video where we can see that there's something once again swimming next to his boat. On that same night, he captures something swimming very close to his boat, so he gets his camera and tries to snap a video of it. And this is what he saw. Did you see that? Now, whatever this thing is, most internet users agree that there's something there and that it could be a mermaid.
The human race was created by another race called the Patal. They had no idea where the Patals are. The human lineage, we have no recording of this, but the Draconans have legends of this because the Draconans then were warring against the Patal. And the Patal was constantly trying to protect this small band, and based on the description, it's the human race. But nobody knows how many millions or billions of years ago that was. So it started at age 14. I was taken on the ship. I was given a physical that recorded my brain waves, my biorhythms, so that I could be communicated or contacted no matter where I was in our galaxy, or wherever they were in the galaxy. I'm always stuck here. They put me on a brain scanner device. The room that I was in was completely red.
This was when you were 8 or 14?
Age 14. There was a table in the middle, that's all there was there. Now, Mornay had like a little clicker, you know, like a cable box clicker. You know, you want to change the channel. It was a device similar to that. He would just push a button, and literally on the walls, all of these meters and telemeters and gauges would literally manifest out of nowhere, out of an absolute wall. Suddenly there were gauges and knobs recording everything about my physical body, everything. They put a little cap on my head. It was like a yarmulke, except the top of it was cut out. They put it on my head, and he pointed and he said, "Look," telepathically. And I looked, and another scanner, like a television, appeared on the wall, and it literally, I started seeing pictures, like clips from movies, just going by. Boom, 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 different scenes. And I kept recognizing the main character in these scenes. It was me. It was my entire reincarnational history on the earth, flashing before me. Not the whole life, but scenes of it, of who I was. When this was done, they gave me a little cup, and it was like water. And he said, "Drink it." So I drank it, and they turned around and they watched on a meter here, they could see it go all the way down. It looked like water, tasted like water, but on a monitor it was blue. And you could see it go all the way down into my organs. And every time I go on board, they give me a physical. And that's because of the environment we live in. Now, when this was done, I got up off the table. All the monitors literally disappeared again. Now there's nothing there but wall. They start to walk this way. I get up off the table, I'm standing there. The stage turns around and says, you know, like this, he says, "Follow." So I started to walk with him. I turn around, the table is gone. Now it's not there. So I said, "How did you do that?" And Mornay said, "We manipulated third density so you could have a place to lay." And that's when they started to explain to me that everything is a holograph. The universe, you, me, everything is a holographic projection. And what they do is they use extensively holographic technology. And they can literally create anything in third density because all it is an idea and vibration. And they literally can create it.
How come they can't create a race of beings like us with the genetics that we have that they want to preserve so badly?
Because the spirit factor can't create spirit. That only comes from one source. That's God. That's the gift. You can create a physical form, but you cannot recreate spirit. And if you create a physical form, unless it's divinely ordained, you can't put a spirit into it. This is the problem the Greys have. They have created their hybrids, but they can't get a soul to incarnate in it. It's just flesh. That's all it is. And they have to artificially keep it alive because there's no soul in it.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Yo, I would imagine that it's hard to be an actor and live a day-to-day life because you're going to be acting throughout your life day to day. So it's probably tricky. You probably don't even know who you are.
That is an extraordinary piece of technology than anything we have in the U.S. arsenal, and that should be a warning sign.
Video from the Navy showing pyramid-shaped objects
flying in the sky.
This extraordinary video and images of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, were leaked to investigative reporter. Investigative reporter reportedly shows 3 pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the coast of California. These UFOs reportedly hovered just 700 feet above the tail of the Navy destroyer, making, quote, extraordinary maneuvers. Show 3 different unidentified aircrafts off the coast of Oceania, including 2 UFOs dubbed the Metallic Blimp and another called the Sphere. A Department of Defense spokesperson said, quote, I can confirm that the referenced photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations. However, the Pentagon was unwilling to confirm, which Corbell says came from the USS Omaha, showing a UFO diving into the ocean and disappearing.
You were speaking about parallel universes.
Right. It's 7 of them.
How do they exist? I mean, how do we know there's parallel universes?
All right. Is that chair you sitting on solid?
Yeah.
It's an atom. That's not solid. It's 0.99999% solid, so it's not solid. It's moving, but you can't go through it yet unless you vibrate right. If you vibrate right, you'll go through that floor. You don't get it. We live in a magic world. The world's not real. When you sleep and when you awake, it's the same. But only thing when you come in this world, you get your taste. And in your other world, you don't get your taste. That's another universe too. I can control it, and you can too. Well, you do control it, you just don't know it yet. If you think something, and then you say something, and then you go do something, that's gonna happen. If you think like, I wanna be rich, then you gonna be rich if you start moving like you're rich. So it's kind of like you get to choose. That's one thing I like about life, right? Because you get to choose.
So when we dream, what is that?
You go into that dimension, right? You're supposed to bring information back from there. See, a lot of people just dream and they get up and say, I just had this dream, and they don't understand they're supposed to use that information. Because you kind of like got that from God.
What about the dreams that you can remember it vividly, but it's like gone in a split second, right?
That's when it gotta get confusing. Like, I don't know if I'm sleeping when I'm awake or when I'm sleeping when I'm awake. I kind of like don't know the difference.
He is saying some interesting things, and I do believe that your dreams are trying to tell you something, and we should all listen.
This is, someone told me this recently. We were talking about this. This is amazing. The difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Because I think in America, we just kind of like, we don't even think about it. You know,
Right.
you just hear it and you're like, billionaire. Oh, he must be a billionaire. You know, I'm sure someone, Joe Rogan dude's got to be a fucking billionaire, dude. Here's the difference that people don't realize. 1 million seconds is how many days? Would you guess? 1 million seconds.
I've done this before and I always forget it.
Do you know?
1 million
Can you guess?
seconds.
1 million seconds.
30 days.
That's a great guess. Okay.
Is it?
It's 11 days. That's good.
Oh.
Most people are fucking way off. So it's 11 days.
I just
1 million.
took a chance.
Yeah, that's good. 1 million seconds is 11 days. How many days is 1 billion seconds?
How many?
31 years.
Jesus.
11 days to 31 fucking years.
Jesus.
That is a big difference. I never heard it explained that way, but as he broke it down, that is crazy.
So I'm not entirely sure what is going on here. So the only real explanation is probably those drones everybody's seeing. Like, what else could have possibly made this happen? It's gotta be drones, right? Like, what could make a perfect circle in the ice and it's just sitting here spinning?
That is a crazy thing just to stumble upon. What do y'all think made that circle like that? I have no clue.
What's happening right now? Oh my God. What is that? Whoa, hallelujah, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. That is so beautiful. What is it? Oh my God. What is that? I never seen this in my life. God. Wow. Welcome. Whoa. I like a falling star, boy.
Split. Run. Oh, he made it. He made it back with his friend.
Well, that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out. this is the type of content you like, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Everything you do is appreciated.